Good morning, esteemed viewers. A beautiful Friday morning to you. And you know what it is? It's the weekend. Welcome to the Now Streaming Show. We are reaching you live from ACNNTV studio here in the nation's capital. We are excited to have you join us today. The rule of law is not a slogan. It is the foundation of any just society. When laws are applied selectively, justice is denied and the nation suffers. These were the words of Wole Soyinka. I am your uncle, Somtochukwu Okizo, and I am not alone. With me in the studio to discuss the legality of the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State is the Venerable Joseph Unwaya JP, the Director of Civic and Political Affairs of the Church of Nigeria and Chaplain of the National Assembly. Thank you so much, Venerable, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And joining us later in the studio is the Reverend Canon Anozie Chinomso Esquire. He is a priest, lawyer, political and human rights activist. Also joining us virtually from Delta State is Prince God's Time. He is a human rights activist, a politician. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Venerable, for being here, and also to our guests joining us virtually. We would really be expecting you, and thank you in advance.
Thank you.
Viewers, please remember to engage us during the show by calling the numbers on your screen or sharing your thoughts through any of our various social media platforms. You could also share the live stream with your friends and family. But quickly, let's take a look at some of the major headlines from Nigerian dailies that just came in. Looking quickly at the Guardian newspaper, we have salary review for political office holders underway, says Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission Chairman. We can find that on page 18 of the Guardian newspaper. And also for peace, Pan Niger Delta Forum advises Tinubu to reverse Rivers emergency rule. That we can find on page 3 on the Vanguard newspaper. I endured Akpabio's sexual advances for over a year. Natasha Algiers. This we can find on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Also, how politics corrupt Protestant traditional institution, royal stools. That is a big story. That is a throne for hire, and we can find that on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Reports hinges failure of public water service on corruption negligence. That we can find on page 7. We freed 4,082 minor offenders to save NIB yearly. This is coming from the federal government, and we can find on page 3 of the Guardian. NAS faces backlash over state of emergency approval. Fubara denies culpability. That we can find on page 6 on the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, on the Guardian, we have Ganduje minister dismiss Atiku Obi El-Rufai coalition as failed gang up. That we can find on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And quickly on the Vanguard, we have anger as NAS approves emergency rule with voice vote. This is something that is really causing chaos right now in the country. NAS approves emergency rule with voice vote, and that we can find on pages 8, pages 9 and pages 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that is all I would want us to look at the Vanguard. And quickly just looking at the Punch newspaper, this morning. Over the picture story there, we have APC backs Tinubu as Atiku, Obi, El-Rufai intensify coalition talks. That we can find on page 45 on the Punch newspaper. And there over the main story there, still on the Punch, we have National Assembly backs Tinubu as Fubara counters president's allegations. That we can find on page 2 and page 45 of the Vanguard newspaper. Then below that major story, we have suspended governor blames Wiki, South governors oppose Tinubu, IBAS warns pipeline vandals. And still that we can find on page 2 and 45 on the Vanguard newspaper. Still on the Rivers State crisis, Tinubu declares state of emergency in Rivers State. We still have Fubara calls for calm and blames lawmakers. Tinubu emergency rule in Rivers State biased. This is coming from the PDP governors. NBA faults Rivers emergency rule, declares Fubara's suspension unconstitutional. APC defends emergency rule in Rivers and blames Fubara. House of Reps announce results of votes concerning emergency rule in Rivers. Senate shuns opposition leaders and approve Rivers emergency rule. Still on our trending stories, Tinubu sends important message to National Assembly after they approved Rivers emergency rule. Wow, this important message. I would really want to know what he sent. And we still have NAS faces backlash over state of emergency approval. Fubara denies culpability. Also, we have governor demands reversal of state emergency declaration in Rivers. And lastly, we have for peace, the Pandef advises Tinubu to reverse Rivers emergency rule. And what we'll be discussing this morning, it's the legality of the declaration of state of emergency rule in Rivers State. Quickly, before we go over some of the videos that happened and some of the incidences that happened during the course of this week, I would especially want to welcome the Reverend Canon Anozie Chinomso Esquire, who is a priest, a lawyer, a political and human rights activist, and he is present with us here in the studio. Thank you so much, Canon, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, our viewers.
Thank you so much. All right, viewers, please glue to your screen and let us just take a quick look at some of the incidents that happened during the course of this week.
That is the governor, in cohort with 4 members and on court. The Supreme Court then made some orders to restore the state to immediate constitutional democracy. These orders include the immediate passing of an appropriation bill by the Rivers State House of Assembly, which up to now has not been facilitated. Some militants had threatened fire and brimstone against their perceived enemies of the governor, who has up to now not disowned them. Apart from that, both the House and the governor have not been able to work together. Both of them do not realize that they are in office to work together for the peace and good governance of the state. The latest security report made available to me show that between yesterday and today, there have been disturbing incidents of vandalization of pipelines by some militants without governor taking any action to curtail them. I have, of course, given stand order to the security agencies to ensure safety of lives of good people of Rivers State and the oil pipelines. With all this and many more, no good and responsible president will stand by and allow the grave situation to continue without taking remedial steps prescribed by the Constitution to address the situation in the state, which no doubt requires extraordinary measures to restore good governance, peace, order, and security. In these circumstances, having soberly reflected on and evaluated the political situation in Rivers State, and the governor and deputy governor of Rivers State, having failed to make a request to me as president to issue this proclamation as required by Section 305, Paragraph 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do. By this declaration, the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Similaye Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly state are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Eboke.
2. National Assembly reduction. We call on patriotic senators and representatives to vote against this illegal action when it comes before them for approval. The National Assembly must stand on the right side of history and not allow itself to be used to legitimize an unconstitutional power grab. 3. Judicial intervention. We urge the judiciary to act swiftly in striking down this proclamation, as it sets a dangerous precedent that could be used to arbitrarily remove any governor in the future. I am very happy to read the ruling of a judge in Rivers State which directed a status quo. Number 4, Nigerians must defend democracy. It's not only the responsibility of the opposition to defend democracy. It's the responsibility of all Nigerians, all of you, to defend democracy. Otherwise, there won't be a Nigeria. We call on all civil society organizations, political groups, and Nigerians of good conscience to stand firm in the defense of this democracy that we all have toiled to build. Rivers State is not a conquered territory, and Nigeria is not a dictatorship requiring the replacement of an elected governor with a military administrator.
Courts, in 2006, the Supreme Court of Nigeria gave a judgment clearly stating that even though by then Daria had been restored to office, but last the Obasanjo administration has said that under no circumstances will the emergency provisions in Section 305 be used to remove any elected official. That is the law. The Supreme Court has spoken. No legislation or constitutional amendment has changed that. So that is the law. No one, no person or authority can remove an elected official, whether governor, deputy governor, or member of the legislature, without going through the due process of law. In the case of governor, via impeachment. In the case of legislators, through recall.
Any more contributions? Any more contributions? So we put the question. Are we ready for the question? Are we ready? Those in support of this request of Mr. President as amended should say aye. Aye. Those in support of this request from Mr. President as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. There is have it. Thank you very much. Clerk.
Pursuant to Section 60 of the Constitution, Section 305, subsection 2, and pursuant to our rules 1, sub B of the standing orders of the Senate, and also pursuant to rules 134, 135, and 136 of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in support of the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it in unanimity.
Great viewers, thank you for staying tuned and being a part of this show. This is still the Now Streaming Show, reaching you live from ACNN TV station here in the nation's capital. And viewers, remember you can call in and be a part of this our show, and also send in your comments via our social media platforms displayed on your screen, or call the numbers also displaying on your screen to be a part of the show. And we also want to welcome our guest joining us virtually, Prince Godstime, who is a human rights activist and politician. You're welcome, sir, for being a part of our show this morning.
Good morning and thank you.
All right. As we just watched a clip of the president declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State, and also how the Senate House has also approved and upheld the declaration of the president. So quickly diving into the conversation, I would want to begin with the lawyer in our midst, the Canon Anozie Chinom. So, and I want to ask, does the Constitution, does the suspension of elected officials, including Governor Fubara and state lawmakers, align with the Nigerian Constitution or provisions for declaring of a state of emergency?
Thank you very much. I would like to first of all deal with issues. There are certain things you don't even need to be a lawyer before you know that is unconstitutional.
Okay.
Number one, based on Section 305 of the Constitution, on whether the president has the power to declare state of emergency, that's number one. On whether or not the president has the power to remove a statutory elected governors and House of Assembly members. 3, on whether or not the president has the power to so do and to appoint a sole administrator. On whether or not the president has the power to also swear in. You see, dear viewers, we need to educate ourselves here. Remember that Section 1, subsection 2 made it clear in the Constitution as amended 1999 that anything that is at variance with Constitution, to the extent of that variance, is null and void.
Okay.
So even the proclamation of the president is null and void based on the action he took. He has the power to declare state of emergency, and we see subsections A, B, C, and all that, which empowers him. Yes, there's a political unrest, but the question is it to the extent of him declaring the state of emergency? As we speak today, Osun State have a problem between the governor and people that they say that they are former local government chairman and all that. Why has state of emergency not declared? As we speak, in Benue State, the governor has a problem with the chief judge. You see, you now begin to ask whether it's democracy or democracy. You begin to ask whether we're being governed by rule of law. And you begin to ask many questions. Yes, he has the power to declare state of emergency, but is that the gravity? Is it right for him to what is happening in the River State? That's number one. Number two, he doesn't have any right whatsoever. Even when you read subsections, there are major ways by which, two major ways as in the Constitution, by which elected people can be removed. Either through impeachment in Section 188 or through resignation in Section 306 of the Constitution, if you decide to resign. But the president does. In fact, there's also judicial pronouncements One of the clips we just watched, we can see RFI talking about that. Yeah. There's a judicial and it's a Supreme Court decision for that matter. So I don't know whether we have emperor presidents or elected president, but it's time to call all these civil society groups, to call all human rights activists like us, to move to the courts and now make that, because these have created a precedent. So okay, let's look at this legal maximum of mutandis. So if there's any problem or political unrest in federation, and the president or whoever decide to, pronounce state of emergency, he will now remove himself. It's something that is worrisome. It's something that is because of the generation coming. So, one, the president has the power to declare a state of emergency for whatever reason enshrined in that section, but there is no power he has to remove elected governor.
I think he probably has the guidance of the Attorney General of the Federation that guided him into making.
I don't want to attack some person, because oftentimes people have asked whether that man is even a lawyer to the extent of senior advocate of man. Even when he was even addressing the press, that's why I deal with issues. He was talking about the governor of Rivers State, Fubara, leading the look at the state. Sir, the state of emergency by which the president removes elected governor and members of State House of Assembly, is it constitutional? There is no place in the Constitution. The whole Section 305, there is no place. Then does the president have the right to also appoint a sole administrator? Now, there was a Supreme Court judgment that stopped FAC from releasing money. Just yesterday, almost something billion naira was it to sole administrator. Well, what are we operating? So I don't want to attack persons. He's the Attorney General, he's the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, he's my learned senior and all that. Probably when he was called to buy, I was not born, I don't know. But what he did is a sort of shame. And it's a judicial recklessness.
Thank you so much. Venerable Joseph, coming to you. Now, we've heard what the lawyer in our midst have said. And he made us to understand that, yes, he reserves the power to declare a state of emergency, but on what ground exactly was the state of emergency declared? And we could see that the incident that fueled the declaration of the state of emergency was that of the bombing, the vandalizing of the pipeline. Do you think that is enough gravity on which the president stands on his grounds to have declared the state of emergency?
Well, you have tried to define why he declared the state of emergency. He said one of it is that the governor and the House are not ready to work together. Yeah. Then the issue of the bomb. When you talk about the issue of the bomb blast, there have been a number of issues that warranted declaration of emergency in Nigeria, but it was never at any time declared. The state of insecurity in this nation has been horrifying. The bomb blast or busting of a pipeline that happened in Rivers cannot be compared to the number of deaths that has taken place, unwarranted death, killing and maiming of Nigerians in Benue, in Niger. I was expecting the declaration of emergency when the issue of Lukarawa it came up in Northwest. As what is government waiting for? Can the president declare state of emergency to arrest that issue before it becomes another monster like Boko Haram? It was never declared. So for me, all this thing is politics. This is politics, my brother. This is politics. Instead of declaration of a state of emergency, I'm talking as an individual, the way I see it as an onlooker and as a neutral person. I'm not a politician, and I don't belong to APC, I don't belong to PDP, neither do I belong to Labour Party. I'm a neutral person, I'm a Nigerian. From the way I'm looking at it, state of emergency was not necessary. Mr. President could have as well summoned Fubara, summoned the lawmakers to his chambers and caution them and tell them, do it this way, do it this way. And if at the end of the day, for instance, the lawmakers refuse to heed his call, he will know the next line of action to take. If Fubara did not listen to him, he can then tell the lawmakers impeach him. since he's not ready to listen and not ready to allow peace to reign. The point before the state of emergency, we got to that point, Supreme Court rule. I disagree completely with that ruling of the Supreme Court, but we have no choice. They said it's Supreme Court, but I've asked the question over and over, is Supreme Court for the masses or for some individual or for some political party? Is the Supreme Court really standing for the oppressed, or is on the side of the oppressor? Because the kind of judgments coming out of Supreme Court they are very embarrassing to Nigerians, reasonable Nigerians, because you can't really fathom out how they arrived at such conclusions. So now, the Supreme Court had ruled. Everyone saw visibly that the governor, without any choice, even though it's like forcing a bitter pill through his throat, was ready to go and present the budget to the State Assembly. We all saw how the gate was locked. They said there was no proper communication. He repeated the process. At the end of the day, before he could get there, they have gone on vacation. How do you behave like that? What does it take for Mr. President to call these people to order to say, Supreme Court have ruled? If the governor have decided to present this, can you please sit and take that and allow peace to reign? The next thing we are hearing, declaration of a state of emergency. The truth is that it's unfortunate, and I have to say this.
Very, very.
Nigerians are only interested in the oil coming from Niger Delta.
Sure.
They don't really have the interest of the people in their heart. If they have the interest of the people in their heart, this matter can be handled in a better way. For Christ's sake, this is a state that is producing the highest oil that we are surviving on. So we want the oil, but we don't care about the feeling of the people. We want the... Now, another side is that, are we children? Don't all of us here, don't Nigerians know what is going on in rivers? Don't we know that there is a hand controlling the House of Assembly members? What has been done about that? The person was not even mentioned. The person was not even cautioned.
Yeah.
The president have the right and the power to call that man to order to say, tell your boys to calm down. We have had enough. Before this thing get out of hand and oil is affected and the whole country is affected, please, I can't take it anymore. None of that was done, for Christ's sake. None of those things were done. What I'm saying is that the president had the power to declare state of emergency. But this is like using a hammer to kill cockroach. You can just kill cockroach with slippers, and the cockroach will still die. This case is like a cockroach, and you went and carry hammer. I think it was too much. Then, secondly, talking about removal of elected officials, dissolution of even the House of Assembly. I think I've not seen it in the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but I've not seen it in the Constitution. And I thank God Nigeria Bar Association have come out to kick against it, to say it is illegal. Here is a learned gentleman, a lawyer, also telling you the same thing. There was one episode we handled the office, and when I said, on a very good day, Erufai speaks the truth.
Even if it's for once.
Erufai speaks the truth, except he just want to do his political maneuvering. He speaks the truth on a very good day. You heard what he said about the judgment of the Supreme Court. The same Supreme Court had judged before. Look at when Jonathan declared state of emergency in Northeast, had to control insecurity. Did he remove the governor? No. Did he remove the state assembly? My own concern is that APC government and the presidency are setting a dangerous precedent. And in my area, they say grass cutters ordinarily don't bite. But if you use your mouth to remind grass cutter that they can bite, right, grass cutter will bite you. So my fear is that the military that every Nigerian fought tooth and nail to restrict to barracks, yeah, are being introduced to power indirectly. They are being introduced to power. You see, other people are watching. They are being introduced to power from the backyard. I thank the military for their discipline, for their professionalism over these years. Even when people are suggesting, oh, because of frustration, military should come and take, like as it was happening with some youths in the north the other time, they come out and say, no, we want to restrict ourselves to the barrack and all that. Indirectly, they are being reintroduced. Whether you like it or not, bringing a military administrator to come and be governing in a democracy is an aberration. Yeah. And the other ones are watching. And you know Nigeria, before you know it, Ibas will be smiling home. I know I said that God has answered Ibas' prayer. And before you know it, other people in uniform will begin to see, this thing used to be very juicy, like this. So during Babajida, during Abacha's time, during Buhari's time, during Obasanjo's time, and can you see it? And we shouldn't give room for that. Sure. Especially when we know the trend in West Africa countries. Yeah. Look at Niger close to us. Military have taken over. Look at the two other countries that military people have taken over.
It seems like it's better for them. So don't you think it might be
and
better?
And you see the danger. you see the danger. People are already saying now, oh, those countries are doing better. Oh, they are savior and all that. Why are we trying to remind the military that they can be better than their rule can be better than
our politicians?
By the way, I asked myself, with this declaration of emergency, should a military man be appointed? That is another issue. Could it another person be appointed who is not a military man, a sole administrator who is not a military man? Must the person be a military man before he's able to give a command? After all, the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not a military man. Our president is not a military man, but he commands the armed forces. A civilian could have as well be appointed to do that. Though for me, it is not even necessary. Then the second area of my concern is, are we really practicing the rule of law? From the little I saw in the Constitution, that proclamation, when it is made, should be taken to the National Assembly. The president didn't wait for the National Assembly to even consider the matter. He made an appointment, went straight away, swore him in before the matter got to the National Assembly. I already knew that what happened in National Assembly yesterday will happen. Because, and unfortunately, I felt sad yesterday. I was in a meeting with all the civil society group who were doing the National Civil Society's situation room. We were trying to look at the credibility threshold for 2027 election. It was the document we were fine-tuning in Transcorp Hilton yesterday when this news came to us there, and every head of civil society group was lamenting and felt that something had gone wrong, that this government is taking us gradually back to the...
All right, sorry, sir. We have a caller.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, Mr. Ezegon, we can hear you.
I want to appreciate your guests you have in the studio, the barrister and our very own venerable. I want to sincerely say this. It pains me a lot as a Nigerian when this kind of mess is taking place without apology from the participators, so-called players, and then we will have lawyers who will come and be quoting laws, quoting constitution that the players has never obeyed. How can you tell me that in a nation like Nigeria that the law is valid? How? When? Where have we applied it? Do you want to talk about Akpabio? Akpabio has successfully taken himself to be a demigod in the state, in the Senate House, and whatsoever he wants, as far as that place is concerned, he will do it, and nothing will happen. See, my take in this particular Rivers State matter is that had it been I had that chance to speak to Fubara one-on-one, I would tell Fubara to do what Tinubu just did. Why? My stand there is that anything Fubara will do in this matter, he will do that in the eye of a mask law constitution, whether dirty or whatsoever. Heaven will not fall. Enough of quoting laws. Tinubu will not obey you. Buhari did not obey. So if APC is setting this pace politically in Nigeria, they should hold this power very well, because if any opposition takes off this power again, Nigeria is gone and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So we should also understand that Fubara is very, very fine where he is. After all, where was Fubara? Who is Fubara before this election? Who was Fubara? Was Fubara a politician? So he just went back to his normal business and he is fine. He is very fine. We should just cry for the so-called reverse allocation that Wike has been fighting. He has collected the first 20%. He is waiting for the next, and this is what he has been fighting for. And he will get it. Nothing will still happen. And for the military that has come in, I actually I'm very happy hearing my venerable talking about reintroducing the military in our political space, in our offices. We are teaching them now how to fish. They will catch these fish very well, and when they will become masters, even the Tinubu himself cannot stop them by that time. We should also know that the fight is not the fight that we take the youth to the street to protest. Anybody that is going to protest in Rivers State is protesting at his own risk. Anything can happen. Tinubu is after it, and I said it yesterday. Rivers is first, and Rivers is successfully. Another states in view, and they will do it, and nothing will happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eze. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Eze, for your useful contribution. We say that well, Fubara is okay. I know that. I see him as a very gentleman, and I don't see him like somebody that is even perturbed with what is going on. He has maintained his calm all this while, and I don't want him to do anything extraordinary. I want Fubara to maintain his calm disposition. He has said it before that the worst thing that can happen to him, they remove him from power. So
not from the earth.
Not from the earth. So that is like Jonathan. Good luck, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yes. So he should maintain his calm and watch the drama and see how it plays out. If the peace committee they set up is ready to do the needful to resolve the matter, and the kingmaker who is troubling everybody is ready to calm down, allow River to have peace, fine. Then Fubara comes back, and the people of River will be better for it. But if not, I don't want Fubara to take any action that will make them to hold him here at the airport and say, yes, we got him.
Right.
So Fubara should calm down. And on the part of the youths, I feel busting pipeline, blowing up oil facility
is not the right way to
is
go.
not the right thing to do, because it will still affect every Nigerian and all that. But I want to appeal to the presidency to be careful. I want to appeal to APC government to be careful, because honestly, Nigerians have not had it have peace. We have been sleepless since APC brought change. Since APC brought change from Buhari's time till now, honestly, Nigeria have not had peace. Nigeria have not slept. We need a break. We need a little break so that they don't destroy us completely.
All right, thank you.
The desperation among APC and the maneuvering is too much, and it's irritating. It's irritating Nigerians. So we let them calm down. You see, no one will carry money away from this world. No one will carry house away. No one will remain in office forever. Yeah. That is one thing they should know. And the way Akpabio Senate is going. Yesterday, what did they simply confirm? People have been calling them rubber stamp Senate, and they just dance into their hand yesterday again. That is a confirmation, because I didn't see what was debated there. I did this. Why should all the senators, no single one can see what the Nigeria Bar Association is seeing? No one can see what all the governors in the South are seeing. No one can see what people, neutral people like us who are not even into politics are seeing. Everyone is saying it was adopted in unanimity. And by the way, why did they do normal voting where if it is head count or whatever, like somebody was asking in the House of Rep, why don't they do it so that I can know who my senator voted for, or which position my senator maintained in this very matter? You just say I have it or whatever.
All right, thank you so much.
It's unfortunate.
Thank you so much, Venerable. Coming over to you, Prince, God's time joining us virtually. I learned that you recently deferred from the APC to the PDP. Is that correct, sir? I can't hear you. Okay, it's correct. Okay, and
not correct. I just joined the PDP from the ADC, not APC.
Okay. So sorry. From ADC.
Yes.
Okay, ADC. Do you have are you aware of any ADC members in the Senate?
Yes, we have just a senator.
You have just what, sir? 13.
ADC just have a single senator in the Senate.
Okay, just a single senator.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir. Then probably I would let the question slide, because I was going to ask probably if okay. Sorry, let me still ask you. Now you're a member of PDP, right? And we know that PDP constitutes of one, they have aside the APC, they're also part of the people that have the majority seat in the Senate. And we just watched a video clip of the voice votes that was taken in the Senate. How do you feel knowing fully well that none of the PDP members of your party stood up to say nay or vote against that which the Senate just approved yesterday?
Even House of Rep.
You are not correct. You are not correct.
Okay, make
Senator Seraki Dix represent from Bayelsa State, the former governor of Bayelsa State,
okay,
who is serving senator of Nigeria, okay, actually stood up and made a point. And according to him, when they went into the closed section, he also objected to the suspension of Governor Fubara Sim.
Okay.
And aside him, Abaribe and other PDP senators also rejected the suspension, argued that the suspension was illegal. And because they had opposed the suspension, or opposed the upholding of the suspension during the closed section, they staged a walkout. That is a true story. If you go to Senator Seraki Dix's official page, you will see that he mentioned that himself, Senator Abaribe and others of the PDP extraction, and Tambuwa himself, they staged a walkout.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that.
They said they staged a walkout instead of being part of what they had initially opposed, because you notice when they wanted to discuss the upholding of the suspension and the state of emergency, they went into a closed door section. And that order, while he was talking, was during the order when he was calling for the invoking of the closed section.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. So now, briefly tell us, what do you think on the decision of the president concerning the state of
Okay,
emergency?
first and foremost, let me state that I am highly disappointed in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I am surprised how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have snowballed from an acclaimed Democrat into a dictator. Tinubu has not only shown that he's a dictator, he has shown that he's a tyrant, and he lacks the intellectual capacity to lead Nigeria at this material time. Why am I saying this? We actually need a state of emergency in Nigeria, not in Rivers State. From his reckless statement, from his fuel is gone, subsidy is gone, reckless statement on his inauguration, they took several wicked economic policies. Our roads are not motorable. Our power problem has not been solved. We don't have lights across Nigeria. What about our healthcare? Our healthcare and our educational system and our roads. These are the things that you should declare state of emergency on, not on main political crisis between a godfather and a godson in Rivers State. President Mohamed Tinubu have now told us that somebody can be a judge in his own case, because in this very matter ongoing in Rivers State, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an active participant. Why am I saying this? It is an issue between a godfather and a godson. Nyesom Ezewo Wike on the other side, there's similar Governor Sim Fubara on the other side. Nyesom Wike is a member of the Federal Executive Council by his appointment as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he also holds the executive power as a minister of the FCT, working under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. Now, Nyesom Wike is having issue with the incumbent governor of Rivers State. They have been fighting this issue for almost 2 years now, if not more than. And these issues have been ongoing. Now, they said that the media is giving more credence to the matter, that it is not a matter that we should naturally discuss, because it is distasteful and awful that we now glorify godfatherism, that we are now discussing godfatherism on national television. The entire issue in Rivers State has exposed who we truly are in this country, the level that this country have degenerated to, that people now proudly gloat. He should have listened to his grandfather, and all of that. Who does that? Should we be proud that somebody is coming out to say he's a grandfather, that he have an agreement? Agreement is agreement, yo. These are not the issues that are not taking center stage in our national discussion.
Thank you so much. No, sorry, it's just the song.
These are not taking center stage in our national discussion. And Mr. President, by omission, by commission, have been a major sponsor of the political instability in Rivers State, because House of Assembly members that defected from the PDP to the APC, that they are claiming that they did not defect, but we all saw them. We saw them with our eyes.
Okay.
Defecting.
Sorry, Mr. Prince, just to quickly ask you this question. Is the former governor of Rivers State, Mr. Nyesom Wike, still a member of your political party?
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I must tell you here today, here and now, that the PDP in the national level, they are a joke. Because you cannot tell me that in the morning you are in APC, in the evening you claim to be in the PDP, and yet there are no punitive measures. Right now we don't know where Nyesom Wike is, but by
No, go on, sir.
But by the virtue of accepting to work under the APC-led federal government, makes him an APC member. Because this is an APC-led federal government, it's not a matter that we have to sugarcoat.
Okay, sir, with what you just said, you're making us...
We are aware. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not running a government of national unity. He only brought Nyesom Wike in. because of the role Mr. Wike played in the election. You wanted to tell me, say something, please.
Yeah, okay, sir. With what you just said now, you're making it clear that former Governor Nyesom Wike is no longer a member of the PDP.
No, he says he's PDP in the morning and APC in the evening.
We all know in this country is not a member of the PDP.
So why have your party?
We are declared that it was PDAPC arrangements.
Sorry, sir, but why have your party?
But right now, it's not very obvious that the man is a full-fledged and full-born APC. Where Yadela described that PDP is a malaria, APC is a cancer. Now, the cancer that he told us, what he described as a cancer, that is now where he's now gloating. Be proud to be a member of.
But why have the party nationally, as in why haven't they come up to officially announce that?
This is why I joke. They don't have balls.
All right.
Let me tell you something. It is only by God's grace. It is only by God's grace that opposition will be restored to Nigeria ahead of 2027. And I am thankful to God Almighty that God is using the Senate President Akpabio and Nyesom Wike to bring back opposition to Nigeria.
All right, sir. Please,
the activities of Senator Godswill Akpabio and the activities of Nyesom Wike within the APC may likely cost President Tinubu of his presidency in 2027. This is a statement of facts.
All right, sir. I just got a breaking news now that the Supreme Court declares Wike's man, Senator Samuel Emeka Anyanwu, as the legitimate national secretary of PDP and sets aside the judgment of the Federal High Court and Court of Appeal in Enugu. Do you want to say anything about that?
What do you expect? The chaos that the recent chaos that we are currently experiencing in Rivers State, was it not out of a Supreme Court pronouncement? Should I tell you that it was procured before you know that these people have the Supreme Court within their hands? Can't you see the way the National Assembly is being run? Look at the issue of Natasha. You are opposed to them. They have their way around all these things. We don't have a country at this moment. It's a statement of fact. We don't have a country. Nigeria is gone. These people have held Nigeria hostage. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nyesom Wike, and Senator Godswill Akpabio, they have held Nigeria hostage. What they are running is a coven leadership.
All right, we thank you so much. We understand your frustration at this time and your passion.
Your passion. I'm not frustrated. Whichever leg, let me tell you in our local balance, any leg when they want carry, we are up to the task.
We're
not a fear.
We understand, sir. We thank you.
Anything what they want to make them do, we get game, and we are going to survive this. Nigeria is going to survive these tyrants.
Yes, sir. I personally appreciate your energy and your strength to see that Nigeria becomes working again, and we pray that Nigeria gets to work again. We would be back to you, Prince, God's time. But now I quickly want to ask the lawyer in our midst two questions. And first, according to the section 305 of the Nigerian Constitution, the president must. This is concerning the
state of emergency.
No, the decision of the Senate in approving his decision. The president must issue an official proclamation of a state of emergency. This proclamation must be communicated in writing to the National Assembly, which is the Senate and the House of Representatives. Right. The National Assembly must approve or reject it within 2 days, if in section, or 10 days, if not in section. And then the implication of a voice vote. A voice vote does not meet the constitutional requirement for a formal proclamation. The Constitution expects an official document, not an informal or unofficial communication. If a state of emergency was declared via a voice note, it could be legally challenged in court. With what I just read out now, is there a ground for the declaration of the president to be ignored, seeing that the Constitution states a whole lot of facts for his declaration to be made to stand? And also,
my brother, what are we saying? We have been saying that this proclamation is dead on arrival.
So are we saying that it is possible for the states to go ahead and ignore whatever I say? Because even the vote of
anarchy, quite all right. But what are people like us, we should go to court and challenge. But just like the Honorable said, look at his passion. These people have also courts in their hands.
Okay.
Is it the same Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, that will still go? But that will not make us, in my place, we say because of war, you will not say you will not go to war. That will not make us not to challenge all these things. I know that some human rights activists, they are also in court concerning this declaration. But we're not going to, there's what my friend said, that Rivers State should not go into anarchy, start causing problem and all that. The only way is to go to the courts. That's the only way we have. All these things that you read, they are dead on arrival. Both the pronouncement of the suspension of the governor and the elected. These are two arms of government. In fact, we are not more operating in separation of powers. This is not fusion of power. We have an emperor as a president. That's why I said it today. We have an emperor. We have an emperor in Federal Governing Council of Nigeria. That's what we have. Because these two separate arm of government, that somebody, an executive, sits in Abuja and suspend them. There is no place, whether you're talking, some people are saying that suspension is not removal. What's the meaning of suspension? Is it not the same thing? There is no place is contained in that of Constitution. Okay. So what the Senate House of Rep have done is to confirm what people are saying. They know themselves they are rubber stamps.
Okay,
they know themselves.
I have a question for you from
a
viewer. He said, "Can the sole administrator conduct the local government election?"
No, it's not. In fact, he's sitting there. It's unconstitutional. The illegality is still there. It's unconstitutional. Sitting there as a sole administrator based on 1990 Constitution. Section 1 sub 2 renders everything President Tinubu is doing null and void, because everything we must do is in accordance with Constitution. So once it's not Section 1-2, everything is null and void. So everything President Tinubu have done is unconstitutional, apart from the state of emergency. He can, but appointing, suspending the two separate arms of government. What are we talking about?
So the release of the Rivers State allocation to him too, is that legal or illegal?
It's not like we are saying that the seat you're occupying tomorrow, and I'm calling myself a venerable bishop in Anglican Communion. Then I want to go and open my own church. I don't supposed to. You are claiming powers that you are not. Him sitting there as the sole administrator is unconstitutional, let alone releasing the. And is it not the same Supreme Court that said that they should not release any fund? Now they are releasing the fund. My venerable just said it. Honorable, APC is trying to see how they can get the River States. It's just a political interest. I rest my case.
Venerable, do you have a comment on this?
No, the confusion is just too much. And from one to another, the truth is that what is happening in Rivers is not good. And the way it has been handled is very, very unfair. That is my own. If we want lasting peace, and if indeed it is peace that the president wants in Rivers, there should be justice. What offense has Fubara committed? Why should somebody trying to stand or to resist manipulation, undue control, become the victim because he wants to do the right thing? So it's really sad that these things are happening, and the truth is that we are sending wrong signal. We are sending wrong signal to the relevant quarters. Very bad signal, and I pray that they will not interpret it the way people are saying it. We want peace in Nigeria. We want true democracy. And in the democracy, I don't think it is right for constitutionally elected and inaugurated government
to separate arms of government
to be suspended. It's not
two separate arms of government.
You know,
where's the principle of separation of powers?
You ask a question that if tomorrow, for any reason, the president declares state of emergency in Nigeria, will he step aside?
He will suspend himself and appoint another military person to be the president,
to take charge
of Nigeria
and let peace be restored.
Wrong precedent.
Before he will now come and take over later after 6 months, will he do that? Let's be reasonable.
That's why I started by saying there are certain things you don't need to be a lawyer before you know it's you are saying that's why I say the person sitting there, the so-called administrator, is sitting on illegality, and you can't correct legality with illegality.
Okay, sir, quickly I want to just ask this question. We know of international courts. I want to ask, is there a room for the governor of Rivers State to probably take this to the international level to see for an intervention?
See, let me. Can I come in here?
Okay. I wanted to say something.
Yes, please, just sorry.
Okay.
I don't want us to push Fubara indirectly into bigger trouble. If I were to advise, let Fubara fold hand and be watching this drama.
No, I'm just asking.
No,
I want
it's not.
to know.
No, wait. What I'm saying, talking about going international and all that, you know it will not work. Nigeria don't even obey their laws. Yeah, talk less of.
But since
what is it? Whether we can have rights, we have rights. But that is saying that there's possibility to just allow Fubara. But good citizens of Nigeria or Rivers State can do that.
I should encourage to do this is I expect that PDP should go to court as a party, because it's their governor that was removed from office. I expect that, what is it called? Like the Nigeria Bar Association, you should try to go to the court to find out what is the true position.
But as we see now, we already know that they have the court also in their hands.
They will not
see. That is why I want to know: is there a room for us to take this outside?
No. Before we go outside, just like let's go through the process. We agree that yes, they have, but let's just do the needful. We can't just be
the needful have not be done with the country. That is number
this
one.
This is speculations.
Now,
let's just do it first.
And even if you do it from, that is why I say I'm really disappointed with the kind of judgment coming from the Supreme Court. Even if PDP goes to Supreme Court today, even if what is it called, Nigeria Bar Association goes to court today, even if the governors who are threatening to go to court goes to court today, what is going to come out of it? Is it not going to end on the table of the same Supreme Court that have been giving all sorts of conflicting judgments and
orders and all that?
No. It's unfortunate.
All right,
our judiciary entirely is
all right. Coming to you, Prince God's time. We learnt of an incident that happened yesterday in the north where some soldiers were murdered by ISWAP. Do you think President Tinubu should also declare a state of emergency in that state, in the north?
Does what I think matter in Nigeria? Does it really matter?
Okay.
The question you had earlier asked about seeing Fubara going to international court or going to whatever you are suggested. Now, let me tell you something. In this very matter, Fubara is not totally innocent. He's also a suspect.
Okay, why do you say so? Why do you say so?
I will continue. Fubara is a suspect because Nyesom Wike is alleging that he rigged Fubara into power, that Fubara did not campaign to emerge as governor of Rivers State. That Fubara becoming governor is doing. That is why he's laying claim to the leadership. Now, Fubara that you are seeing, you and I know that Fubara is a lightweight. He's not a man of will. He's not a man of wisdom. Because if I was the governor of Rivers State, I would have known what to do, because I had known that whatever that they were doing at that time, they were setting trap to bring forth this state of emergency. Now look at what Nyesom Wike did. Nyesom Wike, knowing that Fubara is an German, made an erroneous statement saying that the Ijaws, they are minority in the Niger Delta. People that have 10 local governments in Rivers State alone, they have a state to themselves in Bayelsa State, that is Bayelsa State, and they have over many local governments to themselves in Delta. They also have in Ondo. You are saying that they are a minority in Niger Delta. As I saying that, the same Nyesom Wike mobilized and sponsored his islands, provided funds, and saying he was going to do Thanksgiving or whatsoever under the guise of Thanksgiving in the heart of Ijaw, the same place that Fubara is from. Only that alone shows that he wants to test your power. He wants to come so that there will be crisis, so that the president will declare state of emergency. Luckily for the Ijaw people, after they made several threats that they were going to do this, that they were going to do that, that they were going to stop the coming of Nyesom Wike, This wicked dared them and also arrived in that very venue. Luckily for them, there was no violence. There was just little protest here and there by a few women. And you see the way the women were tear gassed. That means they were looking for an avenue to declare this state of emergency from inception. After that plan failed, what were they going to do next? They now had to rely on the threats from the militants and ex-militants. Relying on that militant, I can tell you in good authority that blast that occurred within Rivers State was orchestrated by the Honorable Minister of the FCT. It is a very simple logic. You have seen issues whereby issues of threat to life, whereby a party will threaten another party. You see somebody else will go and arm that very person, so that this person that has threatened the person will be held responsible. It's a very simple logic. It shows what I have just analyzed, expose the fact that both President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike, and the APC, with what they are done in the National Assembly and the Senate at Mabio, and there was the name of that rubber stamp as of Rep Speaker. They have had this planned, not today, not a month ago. They were just waiting for execution. They were just waiting for statements that they would rely on to do this. It's not about using power. Let's even assume that the declaration of the state of emergency is constitutional, and also the appointment of the sole administrator was also constitutional. I am not telling that there is a background story, that it was a well-planned something. It is not about what happened in Nigeria.
Okay.
President Tinubu, let me tell you this lastly. President Tinubu has forgotten that it is time for governance. At the time where he should be providing governance and leadership to Nigerians, he is waiting that very time to play politics, and I will promise him that it's going to backfire at the long run.
All right, Prince. Got time. So, just quickly to still ask you this question: what step can you advise the people of your political party, most especially the governors ruling under the party of PDP? What can you advise them to do to see that their colleague, Governor Sim Fubara, is being installed back into power as the governor of Rivers?
You are telling me to advise a people that are focusing on playing politics instead of providing governance?
But you're a member of that party, so how can you advise? You are there because you want to contribute
to the PDP here in Delta. I joined the PDP in Delta for obvious reasons. I have never been in a ruling party all my life. I had always played opposition politics. I started my political journey from the Labour Party, from Labour Party to DPP, from DPP to APC, from APC to ADC. From ADC now I'm in PDP. I joined the PDP because of the good works that Governor Sheriff Obodiwori, the executive governor of Delta State, is doing. If you come to Delta now, you will see that the entire state has become a construction site. The man is responsive. That's why I'm in PDP. What they are doing in the PDP national and what the governors are doing, they are not showing solidarity that you should even advise them. They are lukewarm. They feel that once you oppose anything that the presidency do, you will be wish hunt. They are men of little faith. They don't even have the capacity to oppose. These people, you know that they were in what's it called? They were the one ruling for so many years. So they don't even know how to play opposition politics. If they give us, people like us, the leadership of the PDP in the national, we are going to crush the APC through every legal means within 24 hours. These lies that they are selling to our people, they are too cheap to even scale through. It is because we do not have a sound opposition. The entire opposition, look at what they are doing, Atiko. If it was Tinubu that was in opposition, Tinubu would have protest on the street, mobilize people. Tinubu and the Lai Mohammed of this world, they know how to play opposition politics. Opposition politics flows in their vein. But those of them in the PDP, they have not tasted opposition before. They don't know how to confront opposition. They don't know how to play opposition. It is not in their blood. So they still carry the fear that they used to put in people's mind when they were the one ruling.
All right. All right.
mentality. That is why they cannot give you a proper position. But something will happen. By God's grace, I believe that something will happen. With the continued disregard for rule of law and order, and the continuous reckless character and utterances of the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, and the rascality, the parliamentary rascality that Babio is currently doing, that they are clapping for him. APC should continue to clap. They should continue to clap, but it's going to backfire. God will make something happen.
All right.
Very soon.
All right, I just a quick question, and then you give us your last word. You've made us understand of the various political parties you have been to, and now you're in PDP. So I just quickly want to ask, because I obviously envy your passion to see that things are working. So just to quickly ask you, are these your motives for moving to different parties? Is this to see that the you make a change wherever you are, or for or for personal interest?
Let me tell you something. By God's grace, I am the executive state director of the Conference for Human Rights here in Delta State.
Okay.
The Conference for Human Rights is a civil society organization. All my life, everything I do, it has always been about the people. I go by the alias Pugo, for the people. So my political ideology is providing quality leadership, service, and being the voice of the people. Why I am in the PDP is to bring progress, to bring development to our people of Etio Federal. I am here in the PDP to pursue my political ambition, because I am highly interested in leadership. During the last election, you will recall that I contested for the Federal House of Rep. I had initially declared to run for Senate, but it was on the ground of age that I was unable to meet up to run for Senate. That was why I was in ballot for the Federal House of Rep. And by the special grace of God, in that house that they are doing those rubbish, I will be there very soon, and I will bring to the floor of the National Assembly my radical disposition to issues.
All right.
I am here to provide leadership for our people. I am in the PDP to provide leadership for our people. I am also in the PDP. I was attracted to the PDP because of the good work of Governor Sheriff Oboriwori, who has promised to do more for our people of Delta State.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so give us your last words quickly.
My last words to our people is that with all of this happening, do not be discouraged. Nigeria is going to be a better place. Do the best you can. Those of you who cannot do the best, do not join in destroying the country. Just continue to pray. I assure you all that something will happen that will change our political tide for good. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, I had to say, okay, all right. Thank you, Prince. God's time for that passion and the drive you have for the people. And personally, I say amen to your prayers, and hopefully few years to come would find you there in the Senate or House of Rep, and we hope you do make a change as you have said to us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. All right, coming to you, the Esquire in our midst. Please, you briefly your last words for the people.
Let us not be weary in well-doing, for you know this time will reap. If you fail not,
all right,
we should not fail. Let's continue doing that which is good and right. Let us not join anything that will destroy our country. Let us know, both President Tinubu and the Senate and all of us, that we have no other country we can call our own apart from Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. I am over to you, Venerable. Your last words for the people, sir.
Yesterday, many and reasonable Nigeria were disappointed at what the National Assembly did. And I think APC is not governing us well. They need to wake up, because Nigeria is for all of us. If we spoil it, we'll wait for the outcome.
All right, thank you so much, our guest, and for our viewers for being a part of this show, and to especially appreciate the guests that joined us virtually, Prince God's time. Also to appreciate the Reverend Canon Anoze and also the Venerable Joseph Nwaya JP. Thank you all and also for our caller. Thank you for your comments, for your calls, and for everyone that has seen that this show has been a success. We really want to say thank you. A nation that does not respect the rule of law cannot prosper. Justice, fairness, and accountability must not be ideas. we must live by them. As we reflect on the role of law in our society, let's remember that a just Nigeria begins with all of us. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay accountable. Thank you for being a part of today's discussion. Until we meet again, keep the fire of curiosity burning and let your words inspire change. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the weekend. Somtochukwu Okizo is my name, and bye for now.